Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social. I'm Graham Hughes. It is Thursday, the 122nd of January, the longest month that has ever happened. It's happening now, the longest January in human history. This is a January that, this is Trump's only been in power for 1 year. 1 year. 1 fucking year. 1 year. We got another 3 of this. Got another 3 years of this. Well, maybe not. Fingers crossed. Hey, how you doing? You all right this morning? Hey, you feeling good? Feeling frisky? Good. Hello to people in the chat. We've got Chris C in there. We've got Diz. We've got David Peacock. We've got Hannah. We've also got Gallifreyan Wren in there as well. And also David Peacock, which is nice. We've got Jimmy Anderson, Bowling Genius. Lost Missionary. And others. Hello and welcome. If you would like to join our friends in the chat here, the first thing you can do is give us a like. It doesn't cost anything. But if you are already liking it, give us a subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and then hit the bell notification to find out when we're going to go live. But that will allow you to join the chat after 1 minute of penitence. You'll be able to join in, but don't be a troll. Don't be a bigot. Okay, you can be as horrible as you like about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, yeah. Go at it. Nigel Farage, yeah. Rupert Lowe. I mean, before we get into the main topic today, I'm just going to talk to him about this. Rupert Lowe put up this thing on his, it must have been on his Facebook. I don't know, but it is just absolutely remarkable. I'm gonna bring it up on the screen because it's one of those things like if I just tell you, I don't think you believe me because I think there's a very human need, desire to think that nobody can possibly be that thick and untalented. At least Forrest Gump was good at ping pong. But check this out. This is Rupert Lowe, right? I've been trying to estimate the UK's true population. Official estimates have it at 69.3 million. I believe it's way off. I have been informed by government there were 91 million active mobile phone subscriptions at the end of September 2025. Up 895,000 in one, capital letters, year. Now, let's think about that. Some people will have 2 for whatever reason. Yeah, like work. Like literally everyone I know who has a job that involves a team that they need to speak to using Zoom or Teams, that they have a second. Jesus Christ. Now let's think about that. Some people will have 2 phones, blah, blah, blah. But not that many. Of course, millions of children won't, nor will some elderly people. Current estimates of illegal migrant population are so wrong. It's millions out. Sorry, what? So this guy is saying that because loads of people have 2 phones. I have 2 fucking phone numbers. Do you know why? Because it's dead easy to get an extra fucking SIM from giffgaff and then use it when you need to. I just... Anyway. Some people have 3. Some people have 3 fucking... I just... Mobile phone subscriptions. So this is SIM cards. Which are free. You write to go on the giffgaff website and say, can I have a SIM card, please? And go, yeah, here you go. Here's a SIM card. I'm going to explore this further, says Rupert Lowe. Oh, good. Making good use of your time there, Rup. He is really a Rupert, isn't he? He's a proper fucking Rupert. Rupert is an insult in the army. If you're called a Rupert, it's not... they're not being nice to you, They're not playing nice. So current estimates are millions out. I'm going to explore it further, urging the government to do the same. So far, they have refused my requests. Yes, you senile old bastard. What, you think the government's got nothing better to do than to indulge your fucking senile fucking fantasies about the fact there's an extra 20 million people in the country that the government don't know about? Oh, what the living fuck? I'm going to explore this further. Jesus Christ. There are far more people living in the country than the authorities realise. The size of our illegal migrant population is vast. They must all be deported. Do you know who needs to be deported? Fucking Rupert Lowe. In a trebuchet, into the fucking sea. Fuck off, Rupert Lowe, you fucking idiot. Can we all just have, like, a little bit of a giggle? A little bit of a giggle in Rupert Lowe's face for like, I've cracked the code. Jesus Christ, this is what happens when we let idiots do things. We've got to stop. We need to put the idiots somewhere. In a box. I don't know. In a jail cell. In a padded cell. Just stop, please, for God's sake. Why has this century so far has just been the triumph of the fucking dickheads? Like, it is mind-blowing to me that this guy's a fucking MP. You know, people voted for that. People voted for someone whose IQ must be in fucking single digits. Never mind fucking double digits. My God, how fucking thick are these people? I mean, and it's not just Rupert Lowe, of course. You know, there's other Ruperts out there. Most notably, the President of the United States of America, who is off the fucking charts when it comes to stupidity. Rupert Lowe, by the way, sorry. If you were wondering why Rupert Lowe is a thing, right? Because the rest of us, if we're that thick, we're put in the corner to play with our toes, right? You know, just sit there to go. Maybe we'll give him a little bubble things, you know, to blow bubbles in the corner. Look at me, I'm blowing bubbles. Daddy, look at me. Daddy, why won't you look at me, Daddy? You know, the daddy issues with these people. No, sent off to a boarding school, an independent boarding school called Radley College. Rupert Lowe. Yes, he's privately educated, of course. That's how someone that thick, that fucking dickheaded, like so dense, he bends fucking light, manages to have a national platform for every one of his fucking brain farts. Oh, what are all these people doing? Getting 2 mobile phones? I don't understand. Holy shit. My God. When he's fired into the sea, the RNLI should refuse to rescue him on the grounds that he may be an illegal immigrant. Yeah, Graham. Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Do you want to know why the subscriptions? Here's an idea, all right? I don't know if this is true, right? But here's an idea why so many people might have got a second SIM card. Because that's what it is, a second SIM card, right? Why so many people got a second SIM card, right? So there's various reasons, and I mentioned the fact that, you know, you might have a job that requires it. Also, you might be a drug dealer. I don't know. You might be having an affair. Lots of people probably doing that. But also, you might be going to America. You might be going to America for work or for pleasure. I don't know why you'll go there for pleasure at the moment, but some people do. Or they set up and they go, bit of both. Oh, twats. Anyway, lots of people going over there. Are you going to take your phone with your SIM card in? No, you're fucking not. You're going to get a cheap bloody Samsung second-hand phone, slap a gift gaff card in, and when they turn up and check your socials, they'll be like, yeah, there's nothing in here. Although, you know when they say clean your cache? Yeah, clean your cloud. Yeah, clean your clan McLeod or the clan McLeod. Conor McLeod or the clan McLeod. Just, what, you got to wipe it all. No, seriously. Just don't go to America. It's a lot simpler than wiping your fucking cloud. Anyway, Jesus Christ, the data on the cloud. I don't mean to wipe it. Deleted the internet. Anyway, I thought I'd start you off with a laugh this morning. Because, fucking hell, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. I mean, these people, privately educated, posh twats like Rupert Lowe. He's literally called fucking Rupert. You know, I mean, they knew. They looked at this newborn baby. You know, and they went, oh, he's gonna be a C unit, isn't he? What should we call him? Rupert. Let's call him fucking Rupert after Rupert Murdoch, possibly. I don't know. We'll call him Rupert after the biggest gobshite the world has ever known. No, I can't even say it's unfucking-believable, is it? Very, very believable. Very, very fucking believable. Oh my God. So, yeah. Test, please ignore, says Jeremy. Okay, I will ignore your test. Your test little. I will ignore it. Rupert Lowe, what the fuck? Ever heard of reaching but this next level? He's saying people have new phones, immigration. Yeah, illegal immigration. There's 20 million people that the government don't know about that are somehow working and living somewhere in houses when we've got a housing shortage, and I just don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, so yeah, I just like these people. They're working minimum wage, I assume, because they're illegal immigrants, maybe under because they're getting paid cash in hand, and then they go into a supermarket and they because they can't get a card, can they? They can't get a discount card, a co-op card, or a Nectar card. So you can't get those discounts. You got to pay full price for everything. Fuck me. Like, what the... Seriously. I mean, they're all hiding. They're all just hiding these 20 million extra people. These are the delusions of someone who is just... They've never spent a moment of their godforsaken, privileged, pampered little life in the fucking real world. They don't know anything about anything. The only reason they have this fucking platform that they do is because they went to posh school. Because they went to private school. I know I go on about it all the fucking time, but you know it's true. You know it's true. It is absolutely ridiculous that we live our lives, our only chance of life on this planet. We live in the thrall of these twats who just happen to be born rich. You know, mate who in paycheck will pay for a top level education for me. And then when I complain about it, people who went to boarding school go, first of all, they go, oh no, everyone who went to boarding school is a twat. Yes, I know. And the other one is, they go, yes, but there's different stratas of a private school, you know. There's the top strata with like Eton and your Winchesters and your Harrows, and then there's another layer, and then there's another layer. Oh, fuck off. They all give everyone an unfair leg up. And then you have people who are all over the news for having done absolutely fucking nothing except be born to fucking rich people. Buckling Beckham. Anyway, so, yes. Robert King says, I can never tell with things like this whether the person spouting the bullshit is stupid enough to believe it, or just believe their audience is stupid enough to believe it. I think it's a bit of both. I think it's genuinely... I've spoken to some of these people, you know, and they're not all there. They don't know anything. Like, it's embarrassing how little they know. I am acutely aware of the curse of knowledge. And what the curse of knowledge is, as most of you will know, but I'm going to say it anyway, is when you're an expert in a particular field and you think that everyone has the same base understanding of that field as you do. So there's a really good example this week. There was a woman who called in to James O'Brien's show. She was an economist and she was trying to explain why Europe and the UK can't really sell the government bonds, the debt that we have bought from America, why we can't really sell it en masse. It doesn't work that way. But she was so bad at explaining it. First of all, she spoke too fast, which is, you know, yes, I know, it's pot calling the kettle black. But also, she used acronyms. She used terms that are just not everyday, not in our everyday parlance. You know, we don't say those words. We don't know what they mean. You know, you might if you are in economic circles, if you're in financial circles, but and she was so. I mean, she might have been nervous, to be fair to her, but like she was so quick to talk, and then she sort of stopped halfway through sentences. She didn't finish the sentence, but also she didn't kind of give us a glossary at the beginning of what these words meant. And James O'Brien kept on trying to jump in and say, "What do you mean by that? What? How does that?" Because he genuinely wanted to know. It's not just him being thick. Like he said, "Look, I know nothing about this debt. I know nothing about it at all. Just explain it to me like I'm an idiot." And she couldn't. She was incapable of doing that. So I am acutely aware that when I'm trying to explain something, I've got to try and keep as many people on board as possible without coming across as patronizing. Which is difficult. Yeah, it is difficult because you've got to find the right level. And you don't want to come along and, hey, it is, sit down, I'm going to tell you a story about the economy, you know. And especially if you're not an expert in that particular field, which I'm not. So, you know, I try to break things down as I understand them. But when you say to someone, tell me this like I'm an idiot, and then they continue to talk to you like you're a fucking top level expert and you know what all these acronyms stand for, it's like going into a new job and sitting there and in a meeting and everyone's using acronyms that they know, you know, systems, platforms that they use in that company, and you have no idea what they're talking about. And nobody thinks, because of the curse of knowledge, that you need to have that explained to you. That it's just stuff that you just know innately. And I fall for this. I do fall for this. I think that everyone should know that Rupert Lowe is a fucking dickhead. That Trump is a disgusting, horrible human being, a racist, a rapist, a child rapist. He's a disgusting blob of a man, and also he's fucking senile. The guy's got dementia. It's off the fucking charts. Did you hear his two talks over the last couple of days? So yesterday at Davos, this rambling fucking monologue just going all over the fucking place. And the day before, when he's talking about playing baseball and there being a mental asylum in fucking Queens, and like there's been people on TikTok just reading what he said, you know, just reading. I mean, and you're just like, this makes no sense. What the fuck is he on about? What the fuck is this guy on about? Yeah. So yeah, I I'm aware of that. I'm aware that you need to sort of frame things in a way that people can understand. But a lot of these fucking Hooray Henrys who I've met in real life, they don't understand the basics. It's so hard to get anything through to them. But yeah, I think there is a bit of Machiavellian intent in this, in that he knows that that's a really simplistic argument that will get people on board, especially people who perhaps have a paranoid mentality. Probably isn't helped if they smoke a lot of weed. But, you know, they're paranoid. And then they go, oh, my God, I found the secret. I found the secret that nobody else knows. I found this secret knowledge that gives me a lot of endorphins because I know this thing, but no one else does. And what it is mobile phone registration. Yeah, most people have 2 phones. It's all right. Clearly. I guess some people have 10 fucking phones. You know, companies, they buy fucking loads of fucking SIMs. They just... No, it's all... And you know what, as well? If it is real, if it is like he is this thick, it's because he doesn't need 2 phones. So we can't imagine... Because these people lack empathy. They also lack imagination. They kind of go hand in hand. That's why whenever the right try and create anything, it's always shit. Like right-wing movies, right-wing comedy, right-wing... It's always shit because there is a failure. There's an innate failure of imagination on the right. They don't... Because they can't ever walk in someone else's shoes. They can't sit there and think, there by the grace of God go I. They can't do that. They're incapable of doing that because they're too thick, basically. And the correlation in this country between education and what you're going to vote is just mind-blowing. I mean, it is a fucking... It's a break. It's a fucking Berlin Wall. You're not climbing over that, motherfucker. You get fucking shot by the Soviets. Or the fucking... the East German police. This is crazy, right? Fucking the people who are most likely to vote for refuck and the Tories are the people who didn't go to university. It's as simple as that. Most likely. I'm not saying that everyone who went to university is going to vote for him. Clearly, I'm not. Don't at me in the comments. I don't go to university and I'm not going to vote for it. Yes, I know. I'm not saying it's everyone, but like when it comes to demographic breakdown, it used to be other factors. It used to be class. It used to be age. It used to be gender even. Now it is just solidly, did you go to university? If you did, you're more likely to vote Labour, Greens, the Lib Dems. And if you didn't go to university, you're more likely to vote for the snake oil salesman like Nigel Farage, who went to Davos yesterday. I don't know what he did. Did he do anything in Davos? Didn't even fucking hear about it. It was another free trip for him. Guy who broke parliamentary rules, what was it, 17 fucking times? By taking, over £300,000 on the side, which he didn't declare in time. Oh, it was just a simple mistake. Just a simple mistake. Meanwhile, Rachel Reeves, the company that she employs to fucking let out her flat somewhere, they say, you didn't fill out the form properly. Oh, she should resign. She should resign. It's like, or with Angela Rayner, where they say, Angela, you've set this up for your disabled son and you didn't do it quite right. Okay, all right, well, how much is the stamp duty? Oh, it's $7,000. Okay, here you go. Sorry, made a mistake. Oh, no, you can't make a mistake on the left. Left people can't make mistakes. Only the right people can make mistakes. And people on the right, they can make as many mistakes as they like. They can commit as many crimes as they like, and we will forgive them. And you see the Trump people, like, tying themselves in knots, going, yeah, Trump said he was going to take Greenland, and then he decided he wasn't going to take Greenland. That was just a master strategy. It's a master strategy. Meanwhile, Trump has made at least $3 billion over the last year. He's enriched himself and his family to the tune of $3 billion with a B. Billion. Just fucking what? How did we end up on this fucking timeline? But you know what will cheer us all up, Diz especially, is if we get some confetti on the scene. Let's do this. Let's get some confetti. Let's start the girl. Yeah, and then maybe if we get enough confetti, get enough super chats, I could be a nepo baby. When I grow up, I want to be a nepo baby. That should be the name of my next book. Breaking news: ICE detains 5-year-old Minnesota boy arriving home. Wow. The Gestapo. Do you know there were more people being held by ICE in the last year than were being held by the Nazis in 1939? More Jews that were being held by the Nazis in 1939, right? The number of Jews, in Germany in 1939, being held in detention camps is dwarfed by the number of people in America right now being held in detention camps, being thrown into a black hole that we don't know what's happening. Whether it might be being raped, being tortured, being abused, being killed. We don't know. You don't know. News blackout. Anyway, this is what happens when billionaire Nepo babies run everything. Billionaire Nepo babies, Dunning-Kruger, writ large, they don't know how thick they are and they get away with everything. Because just like in the movie American Psycho, someone is going around clearing up all their mess for them. Because they're rich. That's what happens when you're rich. It's great, isn't it? Get someone like a little robot with a dustpan and brush clearing up all your murder victims. Anyway, so let's talk about what happened yesterday. The worst of it is, Graham, they handcuffed the lad. How is a 5-year-old a threat to anyone? I don't know. I don't. Jesus Christ, Chris. God, just don't go to America. Don't go to America. End of. Okay, so yeah, I think Keir Starmer made the right decision not going to Davos. It was just been an embarrassing fucking mess, which is what it is when Trump turns up anywhere. And also, Trump stinks because he shits himself all the time. And do you really want to be anywhere near that man? They don't want to be in the same fucking room as him. Did you see him on the stage yesterday? He's on the stage and he's talking. And the guy he's going to do the interview with him after like his talk. And he's as far on the stage as it's possible to be because of the stink coming from this adult diaper man, which is Donald Trump. You're an infected now with a £2 super chat to kick off the Confetti Fund. Thank you. You're a beautiful, beautiful person. You know what I mean? How long before Trump starts ranting about a final solution? Probably about, I don't know, tea time. Maximalist delusion. The maximalist delusion. Trump has begun by demanding the right, title, and ownership of Greenland, treating the semi-autonomous territory inside a NATO ally, as if it was a negotiable asset, as property to be bought. Property. I'm going to put in a hostile takeover bid of this company. No, it's not a company. It's not a property. It's a country where people live, rather than a sovereign entity with its own government and legal protections. He frames the demand as not a strategy, but a personal fixation. Admitting ownership is psychologically important and turning geopolitics into a grievance-fuel ego project for Donald fucking Judas Trump. Threats escalate rapidly from this rhetoric into implied force, refusing to rule out troops against an allied territory, crossing the line that alarms diplomats and defense planners, and then he ramps it up by saying I'm going to put tariffs. He loves the word tariffs. It's the most beautiful word in the world. Apparently, he's going to put tariffs on all of his allies, turn all America's allies against him. And who's going to be left? Have a look on who's on fucking board the peace now. It's the UAE, it's Egypt, it's Saudi Arabia, it's Belarus, it's all these countries that are fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to human rights, it's more full of human wrongs. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I fucking love Egypt. It's one of my favorite countries in the world. And I love the people in Egypt. They're really fucking awesome. But the government, oh my God, it's going to be a board of peace. Because they're bored of peace. Unbelievable. Martin Harrow, Yuri made me do it, says Martin. Mate. Yeah, I know. You said that last night as well. In other circumstances. The kid was used to make the parents come out the house. The child and father were arrested and taken to detention. Fucking disgraceful. Thanks for that, Brett. If you see a picture of that wee kid's hand behind his back with his school bag on, it breaks your heart, says Jez. Jesus, absolutely disgusting. Horrific. Yeah. Wow. Robot King says, what I like to imagine is that European countries actually did decide to boycott the World Cup. We wouldn't have to have no tournament. We could just have another Euros. It would be much more stomachable. Yeah, true. You've been infected off with a very, very generous £20. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Just heard that NATO is going to off sovereignty of the land US bases in Greenland are built on, just like our bases in Cyprus. Okay. Thanks, Yuri Infectinov. Completely pointless, but that's what will shut the stupid orange twat up then. Oh, God, I hate this timeline. I really do. I hate this country. Honestly, you know what makes me hate this country? The fucking flags. I was talking to Ben about this last night on the way back from the cinema. I fucking hate it here. I find those flags so fucking depressing. These fucking England flags, these fucking British flags everywhere. It just makes me want to leave. It makes me want to leave the fucking country and never come back. These fucking plastic patriots putting up fucking flags on fucking, they look like fucking rags. Half of them upside fucking down. Yeah, that doesn't help me OCD. And they're just like, fuck off. Just will you fuck off, making life even more fucking pleasant? Sorry, is it not unpleasant enough for you? You know, we've been under a cost of living crisis since 2007. And they're like, oh, no, we're going to make this grotty fucking pit village. We're going to make it even more fucking grotty. Oh, how can you do that? Put another flat roof pub in. Twats. Anyway, I'm not arguing with Commander Yuri, says Jack. Fair enough. And thanks for the super chat. And then Paula Thomas with a £5 super chat. UK will not be joining Trump's border peace because Putin is in it. Yeah. Putin's not even said that they're going to join it yet. I think Lukashenko has of Belarus, but not Putin. Unbelievable. I tried the overnight oats thing, says Andy. Bring us back down to earth again. We then went and got a Greg's sausage roll on the way back to physio. Overnight oats are just shit porridge. Well, I can't say. That's the sort of thing that Rach should have put into room 101 last night. Overnight oats, because that could be something that she hates. I don't know if she does, but this is the thing that I don't like that other people do like. Yeah, if you don't know if you saw room 101 last night, but Rachel managed to get every single item into room 101 because she picked things that were like everyone hates. But it was fun. I thought I could try and get people to like slightly not agree by changing it to airports or parking in general. I thought, people need to park though, don't they? And everyone's like, no, Rachel's right. Into room 101. I'm like, I just couldn't make the arguments. I mean, who can make an argument that the British fashion sense in the summer is something to be saved? It's not pull the lever. It's a room 101. Graham, having the reverse effect, isn't it? Yeah. Reading into the story, both father and son entered the USA legally and had an active asylum case. Targeting a 5-year-old boy is not going after hardened criminals. Yeah, it's not. Is it going to change the minds of the Trump voters? I don't think so. There's this narrative that goes round, and it's kind of pissed me off a little bit on the left. They have this idea that, first of all, there's a misunderstanding of the psychology of the people on the right. You're not going to bring them back. They've gone. It's a one-way street. You can't save these people. Okay, you just can't leave them. Just leave them to it, right? And the Democrats in America and the Labour Party over here, like, we need to not lose all these people to refuck or to lose them to MAGA. So we're gonna go more right wing, and that will bring them to us. No, it's not. They've already gone. Forget about it. The horse is bolted. It's gone. It's gone. Leave it. Don't waste your life hunting down a fucking horse that even if you do find it in 17 years' time, it's not going to want to come back with you. Okay? It's going to find something else to do. Find some better hay somewhere else. I don't know. But, just leave it. Just fucking leave it. But this narrative that the MAGA voters are going to see something that Trump has done that's so outrageous, going into Venezuela and getting involved in these foreign conflicts and saying he's going to take over Greenland, and all these MAGA people are going to go, oh, he's gone too far now. No, my sweet summer child. It's not going to happen, okay? They're not coming back. They are gone. They have joined the cult. They have drank the poison Kool-Aid. Fuck them. Just leave them to it. People who want to believe in things on the left, like peace and democracy and brotherly love and cuckoo clocks, and get them to join your cause. Admirably, shown by the popularity of Zach Polanski in the Green Party. Like, he's fucking shown how to do it. Get people excited about it, get people riled up about it. And then he goes on the rest of his politics, and Rory Stew's like, I don't know who's done your fucking mathematics on this one. Fuck off, Rory. You were part of the Conservative Party when they were all fucking going to Brexit. Do you remember that? Don't talk to me about economics. Did you talk to someone who's got a degree in economics? Did you talk to someone who's got a master's, a PhD? Did you? No, I don't think so. Fuck off, Rory. Okay, you eating educated twat. You look like a melted fucking welly. You look like you've found the real Rory Stewart, cut all his skin off, put it on your face to wear as a sort of droopy face mask, and then you start talking absolute bollocks to Zach Polanski. Go, no, what about the economics of this? You haven't really thought about it. Yeah, Brexit, mate, Brexit. I know you were against it, but the rest of your party were like, yeah, let's go and fucking Brexit it. This is going to be great. Yeah, you don't know anything about economics. Let's Brexit. Oh, it's going to be great. Jesus Christ. Rory also got the maths wrong, Graham. Yep, I know. He was trying to humiliate Zach Polanski, and I feel like it backfired, but maybe not for everyone. Andy means to tell me that Flagshagers actually went to school. I thought they bunked off and spent the day terrorizing the local community. Yeah, probably. Boredom. These people, they're bored. I mean, you must be really fucking bored to risk your life putting a flag up to tell the world how much you want to chortle fucking Nigel Farage's balls. I mean, that's going a bit far, isn't it? I'm going to risk my life. Look at me, Nigel. Look at me, Farage. All the people in this border peace, all these people, like they're all Farage's people, aren't they? The UAE, the Saudi Arabians, all the Trump's people. They want to bring in Sharia law. This is you won't get them to come across to the good side because these people aren't good. Some people are no good. Just end off. You can't save them. You can't save everyone. You can't save anyone. But yeah, these people are like. But if you want to try and just plant a seed in these motherfuckers' minds, right? These VFuck voters. Say to them, why does Nigel Farage, right? Faraj, why does he spend so much time in the Middle East? Do you not think that it might be so he can bring Sharia law over here? They don't like that. Oh my God, they do not like that. And if you want to give them a conspiracy theory, talk about the pilot of the plane that crashed with Farage in it, and the fact that the pilot couldn't work because they were having an investigation, and it was his job to fly planes, and he couldn't fly during the investigation, and he fell into a spiral of depression. And did Nigel Farage help him out financially with his business, or help him out? This is the guy who saved Nigel Farage's life. Did he help him, with counselling, cognitive behavioural therapy, private healthcare routes? No, he didn't. He didn't, and the guy took his own life, and no one talks about it. And that shows the real Nigel Farage. Do you know what I mean? When you hear these stories, like heartwarming stories about Keanu Reeves saving a kitten from a tree, and you're like, oh, he must be a really good guy. And then you hear these stories about Nigel Farage doing these horrific things to people, and you're like, oh, well, yeah, but, and people say he's a breath of fresh air. No, he's not. He's a breath of fucking toxic, fucking smoky, nicotine-laden fucking gas. He's a breath of fucking mustard gas, that guy. Breath of fucking fresh air. Yes. Anyway, so Welsh flag is the same, but also big red dragon. I love the Welsh flag. One of the best flags in the world. The Welsh flag, probably the best flag in the world. It's got a fucking dragon on it. It's got a fucking dragon. Can't argue with that. Putting flags up gives them a sense of purpose and importance. Bad people taking the high ground in their eyes. A deflection of the convictions they have. And if I had what I would love to have, right? If I had the money, right? If I was a Nepo baby. Nepo babies, we make our dreams come true. If it was a Nepo baby, I'll set up a newspaper. A left-wing newspaper that was just printed bullshit every day. Just printed absolute fucking bullshit. The dodgy, do it in the way that the tabloids do, where you say, a report today said blah, blah, blah. It turns out that the report was commissioned by the same billionaire who owns the fucking newspaper. And it gives the answer that they were looking for, That to me is like, yeah, that's the way. But it's just, they say, oh, yeah, a report today said blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, let's have a report saying that all paedophiles vote for refuck. 100%. 100% convicted paedophiles vote for refuck. There you go. That's my news story. It's a headline. 100% of criminals vote for this horrible party. Just make something up. They do. They do it all the time. I'd love to do that. Fucking hell. Do it all day. Back to Trump and fucking you bend, you turn. You turn if you want to. The lady's not for turning. Trump spent the day yesterday insulting allied leaders, fueling speculation about a NATO fracture and creating fear entirely through his own public outbursts and appearances. He amusingly said, in Switzerland, where they speak German, you'll be also speaking German if it wasn't for me. What? Mate, dickhead. Oi, pay attention. This is important, right? You're in a country, and that country speaks German. Along with Italian and French and Romansh. See? Travelled me. Fucking cultured, like. Anyway, so the Arctic Defence Coordination, Surveillance and Enforcement mechanisms are already in place and could be expanded quietly without this public fucking confrontation. And this exposes the entire episode as like artificial. It's not met by... it's nothing about unmet security needs, but it's about Trump's desire for spectacle dominance and for rigging the markets. Because you saw when he said he was going to fucking put tariffs on all these different countries, you saw the share value just fucking they lost like $750 billion off the New York Stock Exchange, right? And then he gets on the phone, he goes, right, okay, 6 o'clock GMT, right? We're gonna drop the threats against Greenland. We're gonna say we're not gonna do the tariffs. Okay, 6 o'clock. Okay, so then at 5 to 6, you see all these people buying shares in all these different companies that trade with Europe, which is most of them, and suddenly their share value's got up. Now, if a Democrat did that, obviously that would make them Satan. If a Democrat stood up like Trump did yesterday and accidentally say Iceland about 17 times when they meant Greenland, they would literally, that was Joe Biden who did it. Everyone would be talking about the fact that he's not capable of being president and he needs to be removed. 25th Amendment, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, the World Economic Forum, Trump abruptly abandoned his ownership demand of Greenland, and he pivots saying that and he has an infinite, and he called it a forever framework of a deal that he cannot begin to describe. I mean, literally, no, he cannot describe it because he doesn't know what it is. When pressed by journalists, he can't explain whether the deal involves sovereignty, whether it involves minerals, bases, legal authority, NATO. There's no concrete agreement, you know? This is the guy who, the only thing in his brain is the last person he spoke to. And in this case, it was Mark Rutte, who's the head of NATO, who calls Trump daddy for some reason. What the fuck? It's so sick. Anyway, the language, his language degenerates into like vague abstractions. He talks about the concepts of a deal. We're pretty far along. We'll explain it later, signaling sort of retreat without admission because he's a narcissist and he can never, ever admit that he's ever fucked up ever in his life, you know? And this, you know, we don't talk about a deal that doesn't exist. NATO leadership have confirmed that Danish sovereignty was never discussed, directly contradicting Trump's earlier threats and claims. Diplomatic sources said there's no arrangement for American ownership or control, no signed document, no alteration to Greenland's legal status. The only substance seems to be continued discussion of Arctic security, something that's already been accepted by all parties before Trump created this fucking crisis. You know, honestly, it's like a fucking madman walking out and looking up at this cloudless sky and went, I made the sky blue. I'm pretty sure it was blue before you came along. No, I made it blue. That was me. I made that sky blue. Look, everyone, look at me. What's going on? What's happening? Look up. Okay, what am I looking at? The sky? Yeah. What about it? It's blue. Yeah, I did that. Oh, I don't think you did. That's why they yell at clouds. Yuri and Effectnov, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. The GOP are now the human centipedo. Oh my God, that's so true. Yeah, and then let's talk a little bit about the sort of what can we call this? The abnormal titan that is Donald Trump running into the fucking solid wall made of colossal titans that just, you know, obliterates whatever the mad thing that he's got in his head right now is. So we saw it when he kidnapped Maduro, and then he got all the oil execs into the White House, and he said, oh, you know, we're going to give you all concessions so you can go and drill all the lovely oil out of Venezuela. And the guy from ExxonMobil put his hand up and said, we're not going to do this. Sorry, but it's not viable to us. It would just lose us money. Any way you cut it, we will lose money on this. And Trump's like, oh, okay. Well, next thing then. Yeah, anything to distract from the Epstein files, of course. Greenland. Let's go out to Greenland. And then, you know, the Trump's tariffs against European allies, they immediately spooked the markets, triggering sell-offs and hitting US pension funds. He closely tracks as a sort of a performance metric. And he mentioned this. He mentioned the fact, I think it was during the Davos speech, that, you know, he said, oh, we've already wiped off all this money from the stock exchange. And you're like, okay, is that a good thing? And this the moment sort of financial consequences land in the USA, his rhetoric collapses, and it happens every time. And the tariffs are withdrawn with no concessions extracted. And the markets rebound as soon as Trump backs down, reinforcing that economic reality rather than ideology or the Democrats or the fucking Republicans or the American people set the limits of his power. They do not. The only thing that holds Trump back from anything he wants to do is cold, hard economic reality. And you've got these competing narratives at the moment where conservative media portrays this as like masterful leverage. He's playing 4D chess, claiming Trump forced Europe into submission through brinkmanship. And it's like this narrative collapses under scrutiny because Europe gave nothing. We conceded nothing. We maintained our core position throughout. Yesterday, in Prime Minister's questions, Prime Minister Starmer stood up and said, we're not even going to fucking acknowledge this. This is nonsense. We are absolutely resolute that we are going to stand with the people of Greenland, the people of Denmark, and NATO and Europe. Fuck off. Outside the bubble, the episode is recognised as yet another taco moment. Trump always chickens out. Escalation followed by panic once consequences appear. And these are just like we can't continue to be ruled by a toddler who changes his fucking mind every 5 fucking seconds. The entire world, under the command of this fucking toddler and his nappy shitting himself on a daily fucking basis in more ways than one. He confused Greenland with Iceland repeatedly in his speech, undermining confidence in his grasp of basic facts, basic geography during a fucking international crisis that he has created. Imagine just for a moment, Winston Churchill standing up and talking, about the threat posed by Guatemala. And everyone's like, don't you mean Germany? No, Guatemala. Would they have allowed Winston Churchill? Would we have allowed Winston Churchill to stay in place if he did shit like that? No. Do you know what? I like my leaders competent. I think that's it. When it comes to like ideology and how we run things, I think that's secondary for me. I just want competence. That's all I fucking crave is competence. Just give me fucking competence. Do things the right way, in the way that help people, rather than just make people wake up every morning going, oh, fuck, what now? And the Trump voters fucking love this, because this is their confabe. This is, or kayfabe, sorry, kayfabe. This is their WWE wrestling for the fucking bumbling chuckleheads out there. They're like, oh, this is great. Oh, yeah, wake up every day, Trump's, he's annoying the libs. And he's not. He's not annoying me, because I've not lost any fucking money because of Trump. There's a lot of people out there have lost their money because of Trump. A lot of people who've lost their livelihood. A lot of people who've lost their fucking lives. But yeah, Trump's inability to answer simple questions reveals like decision making driven by impulse, childish fucking impulse rather than planning. There's no strategy here. There's no strategy. He doesn't think about what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next year or in 100 years hence. He's just here and now. He's in the moment in a way that a dementia patient is just kind of in the moment. Allies are left questioning not just episode, but how many future crises will be triggered by Trump's fucking erratic mood swings and how he feels from one day to the next. He watches a news report about how many people have mobile phones and decides to extrapolate that to how many people are in the country. And we need an investigation. I called the government to ask for a serious investigation into my fucking idiocy. Why didn't we do an investigation into Rupert Lowe? Like, well, why is he so thick? There you go. We have a government investigation. Could you imagine it? Like, you have this room and you have like a boardroom. You have men and women sitting around the room and they've all got papers and they sit down and go, today we're going to be analysing in minute detail how Rupert Lowe came to be so thick. Is it genetics? Is it environment? Was he kicked in the head by a horse? Well, we seek to find out the answers to these questions in this Commons. This Cobra meeting. Call a Cobra meeting. God, that'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Cabinet office briefing room B, A, even. Go on. In there, everyone pack in. So today, and then get the press in there. We're gonna get the press we've never done this before. We're gonna invite them into Cobra. We're gonna invite them into a Cobra meeting. Come on, in you come. And they sit there and they go, right. They go, today we're going to be launching an investigation into why Rupert Lowe is the stupidest man who ever lived. Anyway, so look, Trump, he's openly threatened NATO's Article 5 guarantee multiple times. He said, I don't know if NATO will come to our rescue if we were ever in trouble, when the only country that we've ever gone to in the triggering Article 5, the one for all for one clause, is America after they've attacked in 9/11. Implying that the protection is conditional on obedience, in Trump's fucking head. And it shakes the entire foundation of this collective defense group, the NATO group. And even when he retreats, the damage remains. Like, allies now factor American instability into every security calculation. There's people in America, some people in America who know what they're talking about. Even if they are fucking fuckwits in other respects, but they've looked at what Carney's done in Canada. Now, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada this week, announced that he'd done this big trade deal with Canada, with China, where they've brought down the input tax on CVs, EVs, electric vehicles. He's brought down the tariffs from 100% to like 5% to allow BYD and other Chinese makes to come into the Canadian market. And these some of the smarter people in America, obviously not in Trump's cabinet because they're thick as pig shit, but some people around there have gone, do you know what that means? Canadians are not going to buy American cars because they're going to have cheaper cars from China, which run better, and China isn't threatening to take over Canada all the fucking time. Whereas the US is. The US is acting like this bullshit bunch of twats who are saying horrible things about how Mexico and Canada and Colombia and Venezuela and Panama and Greenland need to be taken over by America. How do you think Canadians felt when they saw that image that Trump put on Truth Social, where him and his mates were standing around this doctored map of the Americas, and it had a US flag over Canada? Like, what? And so what does Canada do? It goes, okay, fuck you then. We're going to go and negotiate with China. See you later. China's sitting there going, thanks, Donny. Thanks, Donny, dickhead. I'll tell you this now, fucking the amount of damage that Donald Trump is going to do to the world is going to be insignificant in comparison with the amount of damage he's going to do to America. He's fucked it. He's fucked it forever, I think. This is the end of America as a great power. Because, with most things in life, there are alternatives. As Tim Minchin once sang, if I didn't have you, I'd probably have someone else. And while those alternatives exist, and while Trump continues to act like the biggest twat who ever existed, we're going to be taking them. We're going to be taking those opportunities to have a deal with a country like China, maybe, who actually stick to the agreed deal that we have got set up. Meanwhile, the EU has dumped negotiations on the US-EU trade deal that they were going to set up, which could have been incredibly lucrative for the US. Incredibly lucrative, because it gives them access to 500 million customers in the EU, most of whom are relatively affluent. But they didn't want that. So, Trump has said, I don't like Europeans. They're being taken over by people from other countries. Okay. Where's your family come from, Trump? Oh, they came from Scotland and Germany. Oh, okay. So not Native Americans then. One Angry Pagan. Hello, One Angry Pagan. Who's been a member for 32 months. Wow. One Angry Pagan. Stay in the course. Respect. So it turns out the catalyst for a global paradigm shift is that fucking Mandarin revenge monkey, the centralist libs, and we on the left have to come to some kind of accord so as to properly fight the fash. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And, welcome. Oh my God, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. I did the wrong one. I wanted to go, thank you. One Angry Pagan, you're the best. You're the best. 32 months. Yeah. Then again, I think we do need to unite on the left. And I think we need to stop being so fucking precious and stop being so like, they looked at me funny 17 years ago. I never want to speak to them again. I think we've got to stop doing that. It's not helpful. I didn't think what Starmer said about Zach Polanski yesterday was and the Greens was helpful at all. Whatever. But I do think that there is the cold, hard economic reality that fucks all of these dickheads, all these tech bros and Brexiters and UKIPers and refuckers and fucking MAGAs, that they all come up against the cold, hard reality of economics. And it goes like this, right? If you destabilize a system that is working okay, there is this thing called the law of unintended consequences, which you've all heard of. But it exists. It exists. And it's not the law of unforeseen circumstances. That's slightly different. A pandemic, a volcano explosion, something. That's an unforeseen thing, right? You can't really plan for those events in the same way that you can plan for economic turmoil when it's manufactured by someone like Trump. You can say, well, if he does back heel NAFTA, the North America Agreement, which he originally backheeled in his first term. And then he had a new system set up, which is the Canada, Mexico, America deal, whatever it was called. And then in his second term, he gets rid of this terrible deal with Canada and Mexico, which his team negotiated in his first term. Who put this deal together? They must have been a fucking idiot. It was you, Trump. It was you. But then he backheels that. Right, and then it's like, oh, we're going to put tariffs. We're going to put tariffs on so all this industry can come back to America, and these factories can work 24 hours a day making cars for Americans, and they can buy American. Everyone can buy American for twice as much money. But it's things like he puts tariffs on Canada, and they're like, well, hang on, these cars that you're going on about manufacturing in America, they're not all manufactured 100% in America. Like all of the car is not manufactured in America. You might have a gearbox that's made down in, Mexico, and you might have the upholstery made in, I don't know, somewhere in Canada. And you just come across the border and go to the assembly plants in Detroit or wherever it was, and they used to put the fucking car together. But if you put barriers in the way of doing that, you fuck up that system. The same thing that happened with Brexit in this country. They put up barriers to stop just in time from working. So manufacturing in this country became more expensive, needlessly, in a race where there's options are available. And this is the point. Options are available. I don't think there's anything that America has, anything that can't be replicated somewhere else. I might be wrong. Tell me in the chat. Give me an example of something that you think is completely something useful. Something useful that is completely unique to America that you can't get anywhere else in the world. Burgers. Movies, technology. Don't forget, there's no Google in China. They have their own version. No Google. There's no Facebook. They have their own version. This episode has accelerated the belief that the Western Alliance cannot rely on America anymore. Ever. Even when they get a more moderately sensible person in charge in a few years' time, if they do. Still, 4 years hence, you might get another Trump, who they've given so much power to, that beyond the God King. Think about this for a moment. The US president has more power than the King of England has had since 1215. 1215. I don't mean 1215 yesterday. I mean the year AD, 1215 AD. The signing of the Magna Carta. That was the moment when the king was told by his nobles that if he fucked around, he would find out. And so there was a limit put on the king's power. And then in the centuries hence, the parliament became more and more important. Parliament had to be used for raising money, raising revenue for the king. If the king wanted to fight a war in another country, he essentially had to convene parliament, and they had to go, yeah, all right. And they had to collect the money, give it to the king so he could fight his fucking war. And then we had a revolution. We had Oliver Cromwell, who was a cunt. Don't get me wrong. We had 20 years of some kind of republic, whatever, under the Lord Protector. And then we went, this is a bit shit, brought back the monarchy, but under parliamentary control. That's what we did. Brought back the king. Didn't like it. A few years later, we said to some fucking stadtholder in Holland, hey, mate, do you want to come over and be our king? And he's like, all right. So he took over, William III. But part of the agreement was that the king had even less power. Less power and less power. And the last time that the king or queen, the monarch of this country, overruled the will of parliament was 1708, I think. 1708. The Scottish Militia Act. That was it. And yeah, the king or queen can have a meeting with the prime minister each week and discuss what's happening in politics, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, they have a little bit of influence, but only as much influence as Starmer's mate down the pub, who says, hey, Starmer, I've got a great idea. It's like, what? Why don't you try and be as boring as possible? People will love that. Hey, I've got a great idea. Why don't you announce things and then you turn on it a few months later? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, the power of the US president is fucking mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Anyway, Europe's learned this. I mean, Europe learned this in the first term. I mean, I think that we should have been a bit more fortified against this. I had a friend who, years ago, we were at Glastonbury, and we knew it was going to be muddy. We knew it was going to be raining and muddy, and I've been to a load of muddy Glastonburys. I know what it's like. It's a fucking nightmare. And I brought wellies because I know what it was like. If you don't have wellies, it's a fucking nightmare. I had a friend who didn't bring wellies. Why did they not bring wellies? Well, because they thought that if they brought wellies, then that would be surrendering to inevitability. So by positive mental attitude, just bringing a pair of fucking flip-flops, they could make it so that it wouldn't rain shitloads, even though that was the weather forecast. And it wouldn't be muddy, even though it's a fucking farm. And when it rains, it gets muddy. It's a farm, as Farmer Evis famously said. Privately educated, of course. I'd love to set up my own music festival. When I went to private school. Anyway, nice guy. I'm not having a go. Just saying, posh. Anyway, so the upshot of which was, it fucking rained and they had a terrible fucking time because they didn't have any fucking wellies. And I feel like Europe's a bit like that at the moment. They knew that Trump there was a chance he was going to get re-elected. They knew what he was like. They know what he's like. And they didn't put enough things in place, like an anti-Trump, a bulwark against this Trump guy who's going to be leader of the US and the crazy thing he's going to do. There should be like some European crisis command just for Trump set up. They should have been set up already. Should have been doing this a year ago. But Europe has finally learned the pattern. European, they collectively stand firm against Trump. It forces Trump to retreat faster than flattery ever did or ever will. And calm coordination provides, it's more effective than appeasement and rewriting assumptions on, in some ways, on how to handle Trump's fucking little tantrums. And Trump is that guy in the movies that says, he goes up to the main character and starts a fight with them. And you think, oh God, the main character's going to get killed here. And the main character punches the guy who's obviously much more powerful than him. And he goes, and he turns and goes, ha 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 ha. I was just testing your mettle. You're all right. And everyone sort of diffuses this. Yeah, that's Trump. That's Trump in a nutshell. Just punch him. Just fucking punch him. And it's like, there you go. He goes, ha 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 ha. I knew you had it in you. Like some fucking... He is like a cartoon supervillain from a Saturday morning cartoon from the 80s, isn't he? Fucking... Anyway. Yeah, so yeah. And this has become now a rehearsal, I guess, for future confrontations, which will happen over the next few years if Trump survives that long. Big beautiful day. With Europe increasingly willing to use economic and diplomatic weight decisively, and then just to talk about the border peace for a moment. Oh my God! So alongside the Greenland retreat, we've got this pay-to-join border peace, $1 billion fees, which goes to Qatar for some reason, model more like a private club than a diplomatic institution. We could do a whole episode on the madness of this border peace. So Trump is the leader of this border peace in perpetuity, even when he's not president of the United States anymore. He's still going to be the leader. Maybe when he's dead, he's still going to be the leader. Like Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong, the first one, Kim Jong-un's grandfather, who was the leader, immortal leader of North Korea, and he forever will be. He's technically the leader still, even though he's been dead for many, many decades. Inviting Vladimir Putin into this border peace. Well, I mean, just what the fuck? And Lukashenko of Belarus, and Saudi Arabia, old fucking bonesaw McGree. And bullshit, and then you've got the allies looking at this going, what the fuck? All right, mate. They're recognizing it as a vanity project for Trump rather than a credible alternative to existing institutions. And then, like I said, all these things eventually run into the wall of reality. So the border peace is just a grift. It's another Trump grift. He's talked to his handlers in Qatar. They've said, hey, mate, what you want to do, set up this border peace and then charge everyone who wants to join $1 billion. $1 billion. There's countries out there that don't make $1 billion GDP a year. Like, what the fuck are they going to spend it on getting a vote on this border? Which is set up ostensibly to oversee the transition to a democratic government in Gaza. But yeah. Trump discovers that sovereignty cannot be bullied away. That treaties still bind, that markets still react no matter what he does, and allies still have agency. Every lever he pushes with pulls, threats and tariffs, intimidation, snaps back once it collides with legal institutional, but overall economic limits. It is the law of economic gravity. It's like when you're trying to explain to a Brexiter that these we'll be free to trade with the rest of the world, and I keep screaming at them, the rest of the world has got fuck all. It's got fuck all. There are 8 countries. 8 countries, count them. Fucking 8 countries that are not European on the IMF's list of advanced economies. 8. That's it. So imagine how fucking stupid you have to be as a Brexiter to go, what we're going to do is we're going to make trade with the 27 closest neighbours, richest neighbours in our vicinity, in our global orbit, economic orbit. we're going to make trade with them more difficult. We're going to put some grit in the flow of trade between us and our European partners to go after these 8 countries elsewhere in the world. Out of the 150 countries that are not part of Europe, 8. And one of them is New Zealand, which has a population of less than 5 million people and is on the other side of the fucking planet. It takes about fucking 6 weeks to get there on a boat. My God. Oh, yes. Some great news from Sid. Thank you very much for the super chat. This is my first thing that I read this morning. MAGA haters Green Day and Bad Bunny are lined up to play Super Bowl. Fuck you, Orange. Yes, Sid. This is wonderful news. So Green Day are going to be playing the opening act for the Super Bowl. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? To get happy Diz. Oh, thanks very much, Alistair. That's very kind of you for the £2 super chat. Okay. Cool. And then we've got Diz saying, thanks, Alistair. Oh, do you know what? I just got a message from Kat, and I thought she was coming home this evening, and she's not. She's coming home in a couple of hours. Fucking tidy the house. I said yesterday, I'm going to go now and tidy the house. And I barely got fucking started. So I'm going to have to wrap this show up pretty soon, because if she comes and sees the state of the kitchen, she's going to have my guts for garters. But yeah, so completely off topic. But you know, I am a real person living a real life. I've got some dishes to do. Good luck, chat, says Viper Scott with another £2 super chat. Ooh, and then one Aggie Pig goes in there with the super chat. So I got really excited then. I need to launch the confetti. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Confetti! Morning, Pegman. Thank you very much for the £10 super chat. As the Earth continues to warm, we will see far more instability. As coastlines continue to recede, tensions will continue to rise. The more resources are needed, the more wealthy will hoard. Yep. I can't agree more. And we might see the first fucking war over water. Fought between Ethiopia and Egypt. Because the Nile River, there's the Blue Nile and the White Nile. Two rivers. One originates in the highlands of northern Ethiopia. The other one originates in Uganda, in a place called Ginger, actually. It's spelt the same way as Ginger Island. Got the idea from. And that comes out of the Lake Victoria. And they trundle down. They meet. They meet in Sudan. And then they trundle down to Egypt. And Ethiopia's built a dam. Up in their mountains. And most of the water in the Nile, 70% of it, comes from their river. And this means that they get to control the amount of water flowing into Egypt, which Egypt is completely dependent on in order to not just irrigate its crops and things, but also to supply power via the Aswan dams. Yeah, woo. Bit worrisome. Well, that might be the first. So Saz, £2 super chat. Thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you. And Viper Scott. Oh, Viper Scott, you didn't have to. Oh, that's so kind of you. Viper Scott, thank you so much for doing that. My friend, that is very, very kind. Viper Scott has gone out and bought 5 Politics Social with Graham Hughes gift memberships. Oh, Oh, thanks for that. Ernie Burns is now a member. Yeah, Ernie, you're a member. Woohoo! We've got Liam Fairhurst. We've got Happy Enough. We've got Tim Becks. We've got Phil M. Fanatic. Phil M. Fanatic. I like that. You are all now members of the channel. Welcome, new members. That is very, very kind of you. And welcome one and welcome all. You are absolutely awesome. Big shout out to Alistair there for being really, really incredibly kind and getting us five politics social memberships. Woohoo! Thank you, Alistair. You're the best. So yeah, where was I? I was rounding up my numbers, finishing off. I was finishing off Trump. Oh God, that sounds disgusting. So Trump collides with reality, economic reality, cold hard economic reality, and that's gonna fuck him in the end. You know, we can have all the fucking protests we want. You know, people might get shot, people might die in America. It won't make any difference, I don't think. It's just going to be economics. Same thing that'll fuck Brexit in the end. When people ask me about when are you going to rejoin the EU, I'm like, well, at some point, because we have to. It's an economic reality of the world in which we live. There's no other show in town. The idea that we're going to, replicate our trade with these 8 other countries, it's for the birds. But yeah, Trump, he retreats without admitting retreat, like a typical narcissist. One word you will never, ever, ever hear slip from a narcissist's lips is sorry. They cannot say it. They are physically incapable of saying the word sorry. Unless it's a backhanded sorry, like, sorry you were offended. Sorry if you were offended, which isn't really an apology, but, a genuine apology. And that's how you know you're a narcissist. Go back and look over your messages, do a search. And if you said the word sorry in your search, then you're probably not a narcissist. But if you haven't said it, if you don't say it, if you never say it, yeah. Anyway, so Trump retreats without admitting defeat. He brands failure as success. His acolytes say he's playing 4D chess, and add the growing list of crises that he creates and cannot see to their conclusion. And Trump, he smashes into reality, and I'm sorry, but reality is a lot stronger than him. And it just shows the outer edge of Trumpism, the maximal demands, the personal obsession, the chaotic escalation, and then the abrupt retreat when consequences arrive. And the dildo of consequence rarely arrives lubed. Power built on bluster works only until it meets law, markets, alliances, and shared interests that refuse to bend. The danger is not Trump always chickens out, it's how much damage he causes before he hits that wall. So but there's some good that's going to come of this. I don't want to be so reliant on America. I do want to be more integrated with other countries in Europe, economically, socially, politically, militarily. I do. They're our neighbours. And you know what? Some knobheads might come and go as individual leaders of those individual countries, but as a collective, they're kept in check because generally the majority of the countries in the EU are rather sensible. Tend to be. It's not just one person. It's a problem with America. Not only has the president got way too much power, more power than the king has had in this country for 800 years. No. It's more than that. It's too fucking big. It's too fucking big to be ruled over by one person. One capricious, childish, infantile, toddler, tantrum-throwing dickhead who shits his fucking nappies every fucking day. And we have to fucking smell his shit. We force him to smell this. Fucking gobshites. One and fucking all. Anyway, so I'm gonna go into the papers now. Like I say, I can't go on too much today because I've got to go clean the fucking house quickly. Hope Kat's not watching this on the train. I've been in so much trouble. Why are you telling everyone? You didn't clean up yesterday? Well, yesterday I did do 3 shows and I did go to the cinema to see The Bone Temple, which is much better than The Bone Collector, which was a shit film. The Bone Temple is it's really good. It's really good. It's like This is the new 28 Years Later film, a follow-on onto the last one. And it was filmed at the same time, the one that came out last year. And it is... I don't even think it's a zombie film at this point. It's just, it's just bonkers. It's absolutely fucking bonkers in the most brilliant. If you like horror films, I mean, it's fucking gory. Jesus Christ, it is gory. Do not go if you are of a delicate temperament or disposition. It is, it gets an 18 certificate, and it fucking earns that 18 certificate. It really does. But Ralph Fiennes, not a guy I like because he's a bit of a transphobe. Sorry to fucking burst your bubble on that one. But fucking hell, he's good in this. I've got even though I don't like him because he's a transphobe. Oh my God, he's good in this. Like there is a scene that involves Iron Maiden, and it is just so good, so fucking good. You watch Nick going, I clapped. I was in the cinema and I fucking clapped in the cinema. That's fucking brilliant. I never do that. I think the last time I clapped in the cinema might have been watching Independence Day 30 years ago when Bill Pullman made the whole speech and then today we celebrate our Independence Day. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. You fuck those aliens up, motherfucker. Yeah. But yeah, really, really good. Really good. But not for the people who don't like, who are a bit squeamish. Crowd. There were some scenes I had to watch through my hand. Sometimes I take my glasses off, do that. So I can kind of get the gist. Just can't see the details. Spare me the details. Horror movie. One Angry Pagan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Trump's admin's removal of environmental protections. He's put the national symbol of the US, the bald eagle, further into endangerment. Fucking typical. Yeah. Hey, there's a plan. There's a plan in action, or at least they're talking about it. Here you go. Right, this is a big bad. Okay, they're gonna create a carbon sink in the Arctic. I think this is a good idea. I think that I genuinely think this is a good idea. And obviously, there's got to be some logistics problems with it. But listen. Here's the plan. Right, the arboreal forests up in the very, very far north. Chop them down. Chop down those arboreal forests. Right. So I know those trees are very old. I'm really sorry to do this, but you know there's lots more trees that need to survive. There's lots more species that need to survive, and that won't survive if we continue the way we're going with climate change. But all of these trees have got carbon locked inside them. So you chop them all down, millions of the fuckers, and then you put them on the ice and in the rivers. And then when the ice thaws out in the spring, these tree trunks will float up to the Arctic and fall into the water where it's very, very fucking cold, and they won't disintegrate. They will not rot. They found trees up there that are thousands of years old because they don't rot. And you've got all that carbon, billions with a B, billions of tons of carbon that's safely locked under the ground. And then what you do is you grow a load more trees in those same arboreal forests. If managed correctly, I'm not saying this is going to be the solution to climate change. Obviously, the solution to climate change is to stop fucking burning oil. But if you're going to talk to me about carbon capture technology, I'm just going to go, this is the best way to do it. If that's what you want to do. It's not necessarily the best thing for us to do, but if that's what you want to do, it makes sense to me. It's always like why I never really understood why we recycle paper. Why recycle paper? Fucking bury it. Don't burn it. Do not burn it. Do not burn the paper. Bury it. You've used it. You've used the paper. Fucking put it in landfill. Because that's made of carbon. It stops the carbon. It's locked in. Grow more trees. When the trees grow, they suck in the carbon dioxide. Trees are the most efficient way of taking carbon dioxide out of the air. Because they use it for their fuel. Captain, what parties do you refer to? Are there some fringe parties I haven't stumbled upon? That's possible. Kind of stopped looking. Says Tunier. I've got to see them film that scene. I got to see them filming that scene. It was ridiculous. Jez. Oh my God, Jez. I'm so jealous you got to see them film that scene. But in another way, I'm so glad because it was so unexpected. It was not what I was expecting. it was not what I was expecting to happen. I don't want to give anything away, but fuck it, that is going to go down. And I know that they're not doing so well at the box office, but the next one has been greenlit, but to finish off the trilogy. But that is going to go down as one of the most iconic scenes in horror film history, or in film history, to be honest with you. And you were there, Jez. Hats off to you, mate. Honestly, just fucking hell. Oh, mate, I want to make films. I always think we're burying the wrong stuff. Yeah, bury trees and then grow new ones. I mean, it's not like we take the trees and then float them up to the Arctic, but they're not going to rot. You see, this is the problem. I say we bury them, but then the carbon dioxide can still get out when they get eaten by microbes and things. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, when it comes to getting rid of billions of tons of carbon, and where do we put it? Fucking Arctic. I'll float down to the bottom of the sea, and it'll fucking stay there for millennia. Graham, did you like the Jimmy masks? All my work. The fire scene was awesome. I love the Jimmy's masks. Jez, I honestly, I pretty much loved everything about it. I just came out the cinema with a big goofy grin on my face. I was like, fucking brilliant. I was, there's a part of me that just thinks, oh, fucking zombie films, Jesus Christ. But it's not a zombie film, and I'll tell you why it's not a zombie film. Because they use the word zombie in the film. There's unspoken convention in zombie franchises that you never use the word zombie in the zombie franchise, unless it's like a comedy. I think they maybe use it in Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland, obviously it's called Zombieland. But like generally speaking, if you watch something like The Walking Dead or The Last of Us, they never call them zombies. They're never called zombies. They're called shufflers or walkers or biters or the infected or something. But in this, they go zombies. Yeah, what about those fucking zombies, eh? I'm like, yay! That's what they are, they're fucking zombies. Anyway, if the climate keeps warming, those Arctic berry trees may be a problem. It would have to warm to... If it got to the point where these trees in the Arctic, like underneath the Arctic ice, where they, and under the sea as well, it gets colder, obviously, further you go down. If it gets to the point where they are so warm that sea creatures can get to them and eat them and stuff, I think that the rest of the world's so fucked by that point. I mean, you're talking like 20 degrees of warming at that point. Yeah, Zombieland is ace. Yeah, it's good. Except it's got that guy in I don't like. What's his name? Lex Luthor. The shit Lex Luthor. Didn't like him. I preferred the kid from About a Boy. What Iron Maiden song is played, says Hannah. Number of the Beast. Guys, just fucking awesome. Anyway, so we're gonna go on to the papers now. Papers. Oh God, Trump. Oh God, he's so fucking ugly. Oh God, look at his fucking ugly face. Fuck off, Trump. Oh, I'm gonna have to get another one of them. Hang on, let me get another one. There you go. We'll double that up. Oh God, go away with your face. You disgusting butter face. God, that butter doesn't half look like in the... Oh shit, I just moved my Morning Brew thing. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Picked up the wrong layer. Like that time in Star Wars when I only went with her because she looked like you, said Han Solo. Right, so yeah, Trump strikes Greenland deal. President drops UK tariff threat as he agrees framework with NATO for his big beautiful piece of ice. Jesus Christ! And that telegraph, it's not your monitor, it's not your phone. It is really really low res. You'd all be speaking German if it wasn't for us. Yes, he really said that. Yes, he did. That's the second headline there on the Daily Telegraph. The Times over here. Trump hails Greenland deal for all NATO nations. Massive fucking U-turn. My friends do not leak stories about me. Prince Harry settles court. Yep, because his phone was hacked. 1 in 4 pupils starting school cannot use a book. Cannot use a book. So that's an interesting way of putting it, right? See how they're saying use a book. Oh, subscribe. They don't mean that they can't read. They don't mean that they can't read. They mean that they read stuff on the internet. They read stuff on a phone or a tablet and do this. So the idea of turning pages over is a bit like, what? Now, look, I'm not going to say this is a good thing. I don't think that it is, but the way they're framing it is like, this is all. Jesus Christ! This is all. This is the end of the world. That kids don't know how to use a book, but use a book in the greater scheme of things, right? And yeah, okay, I will concede that is a bit shit. The kids don't know how books work. You would expect. I think there's some kids who don't know how to read a clock face, but that's part of the syllabus, so you should learn that. Unless you go to private school where they don't have to follow the national curriculum. I think that we can all agree that the main thing is that the kids can read. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing that the kids can read. It's a bad thing that the only reading that they get is through a tablet, and I think that's another discussion. We'll go back over to the Independent and the Star here. It's a done deal, says the Star. Sorry, the Independent and Star. Donald Trump last night claimed he got the framework for the deal with Greenland. It came after the Orange Man Baby mixed up the country with Iceland in a rambling speech in which he attacked his European allies. All I want is a piece of ice. If you say no, we will remember, says Trump. And Tearful Harry claims newspaper made my wife's life an absolute misery, which it absolutely fucking did. Not helped by the fact that the royal family, didn't really help out very much when he felt they should have done. Graham's use of clip art is to ensure accuracy. Thank you very much, Captain Coconut, for that. No, I'm just trying to unveil, guys. The thing is, I can see the original. You can't see the original when I cover his face, but I can see it, and I'm because the resolution's pretty low. I'm having to read it off the screen where I can see his horrible face. And it is a horrible face. So anyway, back to the papers. Daddy fool, says the Mirror here. Donald Trump delivered an unhinged and rambling speech to an audience of aghast world leaders at Davos yesterday. Trump, I am loved by European leaders. He talked stuff on then U-turns on tariff threat. Starmer, I will not yield over Greenland. I will not yield. Is Starmer trying to make that like a thing? I will not yield. I will not yield to ye. Our struggling pubs will face years of tax rises, according to the Express, because of Brexit. Because of the Brexit, the very same Brexit that the Daily Express championed. So, thanks for that, Express. So, I'll tell you what, why don't you fuck things and then moan about the fact that they're fucked? Great, good stuff. I see this all the time from the right. They like to complain about the fact that the water companies are shit and the oil companies are shit and these are shit and they're shit. And it's like, excuse me, hello, what are you moaning about? This is what you wanted. This is the world that you wanted to create. You got to understand, this is the world that the motherfuckers, the privately educated posh twats of the Express, the nepo babies of the Mail, the gobshites of the Telegraph, this is the world that they wanted to create. They tried so hard to do it. And I've got to say, like, we to be quite sort of brutally honest with you, we've got to take some responsibility for this as well, as British citizens, because this is what we keep voting for. Time and time again, people vote for the worst possible option. People voted for Margaret Thatcher 3 fucking times, even though she said, I'm going to fuck everything. I'm gonna destroy the unions. And they went, oh, great, cool. Like, you're not part of a union. Yeah, but it'd be great if she destroys them. I'm going to give loads of money to the people in the City of London, like Nigel Farage, city dealers. Hey, wheeler dealers in the City of London. What Derek Delboy Trotter would be if he went to fucking Eton. And we voted for it. We keep voting for it. Stop doing that, peeps. Stop it. Stop creating a world in which there are no there are no services for people, and then complain that there's no services for people. I'm not having a go at you personally, because I think that you all make better decisions when you vote, but Jesus Christ. Next up, we've got the Daily Mail, which thankfully hasn't got a picture of Trump on the front of it. So that's nice, but unfortunately the Guardian does. So just give me 1 second while I cue this up for you. So I've got a cue so you don't spew. See what I did there. We've got the Daily Mail first. Why the Beckhams took such an intense dislike to Brooklyn Beckham's wife, Nicola. I couldn't give a shit. Alison Boshoff. I couldn't give a fuck. Couldn't give any fucks. You see, here's the field in which I grow my fucks. Behold, this is barren. No fucking shit at all. Market saw after President drops tariff threat. A Daily Mail reveals he could offer Greenlanders $1 million each. Now, I'm not saying that anyone watches my fucking shows in the American administration. But I literally said that last week. I literally said, I bet he offers £1 million. There's only 60 million people live there. 60 million. Only 60,000 people live there. I said, look, it'll be cheaper to do that than to invade. Just bribe them. $1 million each. Do we win a prize? I've struck a deal for my big, beautiful piece of ice, says Trump. Fucking arsehole. Why won't TikTok tell me what my son was watching before he dies? Says female on page 31. Because TikTok is owned by fucking China and they're fucking evil and there's no fucking control over toxic social media, which is set up, algorithms are set up to drive young people to suicide. And we're not doing anything about it. And when people go, we need to stop this, we really need to stop this, it's a fucking emergency. People go, oh, freedom of speech. I'm like, I don't want freedom of speech. I want kids to be protected against the online harms. That's just me. Trump claims that framework of future deal on Greenland agreed. And then we've got Harry. Mail tried to drive me to drink and drugs. Which, I mean, you know, fucking hell. The Daily Mail drives me to drink, so and they haven't gone after me personally. And then we've got we've got the Metro, which is a story about talking of barons, talking of being baron. I've got a sorry, I just need to cover Trump's face again on the Financial Times there. Here we go. Trump's boy saved my life with 999 call during attack. This is there was a woman who was raped and she was being attacked on a FaceTime call, and he alerted the police. So good on you, Baron, for alerting the police. I'll say about that. I don't get on the front page of a newspaper when I call the police when some twat's doing something horrible. Talking about twats doing horrible things, now we'll go over to the Financial Times, to Donald Trump, who's Baron's daddy. Not actually the daddy of Mark Rutte, but Mark Rutte seems to think he is. Here he is. There he is. Trump rules out seizing Greenland by force, but demands negotiations. Markets recoup losses. Of course they do. Pressure on Europe maintained. Brussels summit today. Lutnick heckled. And then we've got Berkshire looks at selling £7.7 billion stake in Kraft Heinz. Jesus Christ. WTO shake-up proposed. To vie to head KPMG. Tehran stalks dissenters. Judges weary in Fed case. Supreme Court judges have seemed skeptical of arguments to back White House efforts to sack Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook in a case seen as a test of the bank's independence. That's there as well. Deutsche soothes US row. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has said that German bank's chief had called him to play down an analyst report that suggested, oh shit, sorry. I didn't realize I'd allowed Trump's face to slip there. Sorry. I'll sort this out. Listen, I apologize from the bottom of my heart for subjecting you to Trump's disgusting, uncensored visage there. I'll just get rid of that, shall I? And then we'll fade back on. Fade back in. There we go. And then we've got AI to assist African clinics. No! It's a friendly little robot that gets everything wrong, which is bad enough when you're trying to get it to help you with your homework and you're trying to get it to save someone's life. Oh my God. Don't. Just no. Fucking no. Just absolutely no. It is shit. It doesn't work. It's just Clippy. It's just a shit version. It's a shitter version of Clippy. Do not be asking Clippy how to save a child's life. Please, for the love of God. What the fuck is wrong with these people who think that AI is the be-all and end-all? It's really not. It's not. Look at it. Use it. Ask it how many S's there are in Mississippi. Go on. Fucking hell. Don't put people's lives on the line. And then we've got Trump's meme coin dives, which is the story. Oh God, I don't want to show his face. It's the bottom one on the. Oh, go away! Fucking advert for gambling. Jesus Christ. Trump meme coin dives. The US president's controversial cryptocurrency has plunged more than 90% in its price from a peak a year ago. Wow. Meme coins. Okay, so Nestle blames White House for forcing climate change off investors' agendas. Nestle chief exec Philip Navratil has partly blamed Donald Trump for companies' failure to talk enough about sustainability as the US president dismantles the country's environmental regulations and labels climate change a hoax, even though he wants Greenland because of all the climate change, which doesn't exist. Leading brands struggle to give India the luxury label. Swelling ranks of millionaires make India a prime target for luxury goods groups seeking to make up the slowing demand in China. But despite the price amongst upcoming high-end markets, a yearly revenue of $12 billion, fashion's major names have run into obstacles. Cool. I don't care. Couldn't give a shit. It's a bit of a non-story, that, isn't it? Oh, well, God, there's nothing else going on in the world. Biding. For fuck's sake, spell check, says Martin. Martin, they've effectively separated anyway. I think she's waiting for the final payment. Oh, are you talking about his wife, Melania? Sid, Graham was right. I was, wasn't I? That means I get to do this. I was right. I was right. Everything I say is right now. I mean, I just sometimes I read the tea leaves and I get it right. And not all the time. Not all the time. Get a lot of things wrong, in life, in general. In politics, but yeah, I think I'm not across everything. I don't think anyone can be, but you can make a judgment call, can't you? I mean, I can't be the only one who thought that. I think European leaders nudging each other. I bet he tries to bribe them with $1 million each. Yeah. Okay, so who are the guys? Who invented heroin? Were they the guys? That was Bayer, the German pharmaceutical giant. Bayer. They made it around the same time. It was like the 1890s, somewhere around there. Around the same time that they trademarked aspirin. So heroin is a trade name. It's a trademark. That's not a scientific name. It was to sell it to people. And they had aspirin and they had heroin. And heroin was fucking, oh my God, I'm off my tits. Whereas aspirin was all right in comparison. But yeah, brand name. Like Coca-Cola. When are you launching the Graham was right mug? so Sid, that's a fucking great. Oh, mate, I got to have that. I was right. Do you know what you want as a mug? You want a mug that says I heart cock. Honestly, it's the best mug you can get. You know when the builders come round to your house and you go, should I make you a brew? And you make it for them in the I heart cock, love. I heart cock mug. Give it to them. And they're just like, or when the vicar comes round, it's even funnier. Or your in-laws. That's the mug that everybody needs in their house for just creating chaos. And Tony says, my fear is that people are falling for one of the three Thatcherites, Nigel, Ben, Rupert. They all have one thing in common, is they all bring Thatcher economics back unapologetically. I don't think they will. It's not even Thatcher economics. It's fascist economics. It's beyond Thatcher. Like, it's worse than Thatcher. That's possible. This is crazy, isn't it? We already have near non-existent public services. They want to shrink the services rather than reform, despite the name of the one party at scary times. Yeah, it's why we've got to make sure that they're not going to get into power. But like, honestly, they peaked last year, and now they're down to like 23% of the vote or something in the polls. I just don't think they had the groundswell. I think that the Tories are gonna fight back, and they're fighting over their territory. That's why Labour should be nowhere near it. And the Lib Dems and the Greens, they're not even trying to compete with refuck. Why would they? But Labour are like, oh, we really need to get some of these refuck voters to vote for us. I really doubt there was that many people, and Phil might be able to put me right on this, but I really doubt there's that many people who've gone from Labour to reform. Labour to reform? Maybe the Tories to reform, yeah, but comparatively, I don't know. So yeah, Graham was right. I love the mug that says "fuck this shit" when turned on its side. I bought one for my daughter. Yeah, it's really cool. And what's Captain saying? I was right by being left, says Captain Coconut. Isn't that when you know in the UK when you're screwing in a screw and you say righty tighty, lefty loosey, right, to remind you which way to go. Right. In Spain, I don't know what it is in Spanish, but basically, a la derecha, the right oppresses. The right oppresses, the left liberates. Or the right restricts. Is it the right restricts? The right restricts, the left liberates. And like, that's very good. That's very, very good. Well done, Spain. Anyway, Colin, fuck the shit mug. I bought a mug for a mate for Christmas. Nice geometric pattern. If you turn it on its side, it says "fuck the shit" repeatedly. Oh, that's the same one. That's the same one. So yeah, and also I do need to get a mug out, don't I? I'll get onto that. ASAP. First of all, I've got to go clean the house. So I might do a show tonight at 6 o'clock. So what I want you to do, go on, do me a little favor. I'm here for you. Pretty much every morning. Give us a like. Also, hit the bell notification icon. Get subscribed. Right, hit the bell notification icon. There it is. And tonight, if I'm going to do a show, I'll put the live thing up in the thumbnail a couple of hours before I do the show, so you will know. But you'll only get the notification if you have hit the bell notification icon. So do that. But failing that, if you can't make it or I can't make it, no show. That's the thing, isn't it? There's no show without punch. If you don't turn up, there'll still be a show. If I don't turn up, there's no show. God damn it. It gives me some responsibilities, doesn't it? So I'm not guaranteeing. I've got nothing set up yet. I'll do that after I clean the house. Horridly. Oh my God. There's so much to clean. Anyway, if I do a show tonight, or if not, I would still like to see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock, bright and early for Morning Brew. And then at 1 o'clock, we've got the agenda, me and Phil. And then we've got the Friday night social with me and Mike Dix and Scott Williams and others. So please join us for those shows tomorrow. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Very kind of you. Don't forget to get the like. Feed the algo. Feed the algo. And until we meet again, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.